Whoa. Hi, once again, Huge Movie Nate coming at you in the, ever becoming colder, you know, further towards winter month of, leaf falling month of October with the famous smiling jack-o'-lantern, evil jack-o'-lantern, glowing in this chilly, it's really cold actually, it's supposed to get warmer next week. Chilly month of October coming at you with, probably not a whole hell of a lot. I've just been feeling lazy lately, if you haven't noticed. But I'm going to try to do a couple batches, maybe 2, 3, whatever batches throughout the month of October of just some, obviously horror movie titles. Darn. I'd hate to have to review those, but I'm coming at you with another one. I wouldn't necessarily call this a horror movie, but it's got violence, so for me it'll go under the horror movie category, which is something as you long-time viewers know, I pretty much try to go to Half Price Books every week or so and check out their clearance movies, DVDs, and Blu-rays. And I think a week or two ago I came across this previously viewed Blu-ray in the clearance section called, for $3, called Black Rock. And obviously there's a picture of a boat in water and like an island and sexy women on the cover and $3 Blu-ray. So I'm like, well, oh, and also this picture in the back, they're in the woods. I'm like, sold. I never heard of this. Obvious, well, it's not obvious, but I'd never heard of this, and I'm like, Black Rock, huh? Because I'm a fan of old time radio, and in particularly, obviously, the Shadows, series of old time radio. And there's a Shadow old time radio episode called Black Rock. There was a Bill Johnstone voice of Shadow and Lamont in that particular episode, and it's funny because the Shadow, if I may go off on a side note, the Shadow hypnotizes this guy in his sleep, this bad guy, and he's like, Tell me what's going on. Who's the bad guy? And he's like, And he's just like Black Rock. That's the name of the place where the bad guy's hiding out with the money or whatever. But anyway, so when I saw this title, I just thought of the guy in his trance going, Black Rock. So that's a side note. But anyway, this movie is 82 minutes long, and this DVD is dated. I mean, the movie, I guess, came out in 2013, Black Rock. And it's 83 minutes long. It's, it's probably shot digitally, I imagine, and features these women, Kate Bosworth, Lake Bell, and Katie S. Sealton. 82 minutes long, just three kind of cute girls, just kind of like that movie Descent that came out whenever it did, like in 05 or 06 or whatever. Same thing, where it's just these three just women just go to this island and just like, they used to be childhood friends. It's just, whatever. I don't know who this guy who gave it 4 stars. I mean, this guy says, an intense thriller, 4 stars. I guess he's never seen an intense thriller, but at any rate, it's just 3 women. I mean, it's 82 minutes. They go to this island, and so many elements, of course, of just so many movies like, I Spit on Your Grave and or Last House on the Left, where 3 women go by themselves by boat onto this island. It's just supposed to be probably deserted or whatever, to just spend a weekend, I suppose, and just, a couple of them are estranged, and this one blonde tricks both of them. 2 of them are at odds and don't really like each other, and they all end up just reluctantly going and run amuck of come. I'm trying to talk cleverly or sound. I'm trying to sound smart, and I end up just sounding the opposite. So whatever. They run afoul of, they come across, anyway, it turns out they come across, I think, is it 3? Yeah, it's 3 other guys who are kind of like these, I don't know, like white trash. One's black, but whatever. The white guys are like white trash, like former military guys who are like hunting on the island, which of course kind of gets you like, oh geez, like when they come across them, it's kind of like, oh, tense or whatever. And, because the movie's all said and done, 82 minutes along with credits long. It doesn't take time. It doesn't take long before like they have a camp. They all have a campfire, and you're just thinking, something's not gonna go good here. It's, Mr. Rogers isn't gonna come out of the woods with a sock puppet, and it's not gonna end well. And this one bitch is kind of a white trash, drunk too, and she takes this guy. They all have a bonfire, and the three guys are kind of low key or whatever, and just whatever. And this one drunk kind of white trash chick is just like, I don't know, all suggestive and stuff. Long story short, he ends up he and this, or I mean she and this other guy end up in the woods, and he's gonna try to rape her or whatever, and she knocks him in the head with a rock, and I don't think it's black. I couldn't tell that. I don't know if that's the rock that's black or if it's this whole island that's supposed to be a black rock. I don't know, but I didn't catch the color of the rock that she hit him on the head with. But it kills him, and now the hunting buddies are like, hey, that's our man. He saved our ass 1,000,000 times in the war. And it's just, 82 minutes of whatever, I mean, obviously, if you're a fan like I am of just outdoor wooded environments, it's kind of cool for that aspect, but really, I don't know, not even that aspect is all that great. To be honest, just like the white trashness of the guys and stuff, and just, I don't know. I mean, the three women actually are pretty good acting, and the thing as the movie progresses and people start dying, and so basically, it just becomes this survival overnight, and to try to escape, and they're gonna try to. It's just we've seen it a bazillion times before. I don't have a problem with something you've seen a bazillion times before if it's interesting, but in my opinion, this particular attempt at a bazillion times before, in this case, isn't particularly interesting. A Black Rock, it's nighttime. They all try to make it go for their the bad guy. We'll just call him bad guy's boat. And one of them gets shot, killed, one of the women, and the other two are like in the water, and then they're freezing, and then they take off their clothes, which is kind of cool, because one of them's got actually a little bit on top. I don't mean of her head either, I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. And so that was kind of cool, and then there's another scene that night where I thought it was kind of cool, where they're actually just roaming around the woods naked, which was kind of cool, and I was like, oh, I'm going to give this movie huge props if they're just naked for the rest of the movie. That'd be kind of cool, and like, very Day of the Womanish, and just like, feminism at its greatest or whatever. Just, we don't even need clothes, fuck bras, and we're not even going to do clothes, so... But unfortunately, that was just a nighttime thing, walk around naked. I guess by the morning, very unrealistically, the clothes were dry, and come morning, they were clothed again, and I was kind of like, bummer. Because one of these chicks actually has some stuff on top. I don't mean the top of her head either. And so Black Rock, as the movie progressed, it started with relatively good, acting on the women's part, and the scene at the campfire and stuff was, when they come across the guys at first in the campfire scene, was, relatively well done in the sense of just uncomfortable, and something bad's going to happen, but how's it going to escalate, and as the movie progressed into the final act and the last third of the movie, it's just kind of like, oh man, and like the quote unquote like gore effects as people get shot and or stabbed or bludgeoned or whatever, it's kind of like, oh my gosh, it's like high school kids, can do better stuff than that. Like just some of the, puncture wounds or whatever, are, or throat slitting and stuff. Because it's so weird, because normally if the acting is as good as it is in this movie, like with all of the kind of just, struggling for life and all this stuff, and all of a sudden it's relatively realistic and there's this lame ass kindergarten slash throat effect, it's just like, it completely ruins it. So like the effects, the quote unquote gore or whatever you want to call it, effects of, physical violence, just really take you out of the movie, just like, oh wow, that's really not up to par here. So that's my biggest complaint with the movie, other than just kind of like the white trash former, soldier aspect shit, I'm more of a instead of the threat just being just white trash, former soldier shit. I'm more of a kind of like, I don't know, the unknown entity in the woods that you find out at the end or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, that's more my kind of thing. Unless I guess I like the guys in I Spit on Your Grave, and yeah, of course the original Last House on the Left. I'm talking about the original Spit on Your Grave and the original Last House on the Left. But if they're just gonna be like these guys, just kind of boring white trash guys or whatever. So anyway, Black Rock will give, I guess, we'll give it 1 1/4 star just for its, basically just giving that for being shot basically mostly outdoors, which is something that's not incredibly easy to do, something that I generally give props to movies for doing, which is basically, might as well just say, all up filmed outdoors, which, again, is a feat all in itself. So, and obviously just, the whatever ocean, water, island photography, and just whatever. The cool part where the women were walking around the woods naked at night was cool, and I was too bad. I would have really liked to, not just for perverted reasons, but I really would have liked to seen them naked throughout the rest of the movie. Of course, would have been completely unrealistic, but so was the slit throat effect and whatever else violent effect was lame in this movie. But anyway, I'm kind of talked out for tonight, so I think that'll be the last review for this particular batch. But I hope to do some in the next week or whatever. Continue some October spooky horror movie reviews and stuff like that. Maybe most likely next week, and as October continues before it gets too freaking cold. So thank you very much for watching my probably again overly long review of Black Rock. That's how the guy says it in the Shadow episode. But in this movie, I don't know if anyone ever says Black Rock, but not recommended. I mean, maybe $3 if you can find the Blu-ray for $3. Go for it. Yeah, like anyone's going to want a digital copy of this movie. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you next time.